Well, congratulations. That's a wrap. You have finished the course. You now know more than 98% of the world's population about NFTs, Web3, cryptocurrency. Nice work. My intention here is to also create more courses on Skillshare to take on some of the project elements and some of the other parts of what's going on in this technology arena, so you can stay up to date and continue to learn. And I have to repeat to please continue to learn on your own, do research. If you find something that's really interesting, research it. If you have questions about it, please address it to me either in this course or in one of the other courses. I'm happy to tell you what I know, and I'm happy to tell you what I don't know. But if you share it with the Q&A on Skillshare here, the answers and the inputs from other students will help us all be a little smarter as we go forward. Again, as an old guy, I just have to keep reinforcing, re-emphasizing, please minimize risk. Don't become one of the people who say, oh, I took my life savings and I put it in this XYZ token because it looked great, or I put it all in some NFT and then the value of it went down. Minimize your risk and you will have long-term gains. Absolutely promised. Finally, I'd like to ask you to post a 5-star review. If it's not quite a 5-star, please pester me and I will improve whatever area needs more attention. This is my first course on Skillshare, so I'm sure there's lots of room for improvement. If you are a veteran, I would invite you to come over to VHV Community. It's Veterans Helping Veterans. That's what the VHV stands for. Free to join, and you can interact with other veterans about the whole myriad of veterans issues. Again, congratulations. There'll be lots of updates. I really would appreciate the 5-star review. And just so you get the final and last thing that's going on, I have some latest news. So I think it's really big when people like Facebook say, hey, we're going to do NFTs. This is a quote right from the Facebook and Instagram news release on this subject. Just shows you how mainstream NFTs are going to be. Then you get companies like Walt Disney. They are hiring people. There's job postings on LinkedIn and other areas. And the final sentence is important. Assist in performing due diligence, which means they're going to ensure that they're not promoting anything that doesn't have long-term value. Apple has now announced that it's going to allow users to buy and sell NFT via apps. They've withheld that until they feel like it's no longer a major danger to their customer base. Walmart is getting involved, and they are going to release some NFT kinds of experiences. And I previously mentioned Disney. So the latest news from the Web3 Academy, it's a great place if you really want to dig in to Web3 all by itself. They just released their sense of most significant trends for 2023. The big brands are taking Web3 seriously. Nike, Budweiser, Gucci, to name a few. Nike already has more than 100,000 items in 14 collections of NFTs. The tech giants are putting billions and onboarding millions of NFT users. That Meta as Facebook, they have more than 10 billion in. Google has more than 1.5 billion. Microsoft has 500 million. And venture capital firms are in the neighborhood of $50 billion. Yes, billion. Crypto payment is more than a marketing stunt. That should be a cross out on marketing stunt. It's actually taking place already. 15,000 merchants are accepting cryptocurrency for payment. Integration with Shopify, PayPal, and WordPress is already accomplished. Crypto credit cards are being offered where the merchant either accepts cash or crypto, and it will come out of your crypto wallet. Sort of like a debit card, but for your crypto. Token ticketing is granting some really interesting kinds of stuff. It becomes an NFT ticket, so it becomes a collectible. In addition to granting crypto-controlled access to the event. Universal Studios is implementing NFT and ticketing already. The metaverse is actually a term that was defined in a 1992 science fiction film. It's everything, everywhere online, virtual reality, augmented reality. So the metaverse is not the renamed Facebook Corporation, which is simply Meta. Zuckerberg is sort of tying himself into this whole Meta, and as I mentioned previously, already has $10 billion invested. I'm planning on some additional courses. I've mentioned this in the past, using AI to create some really interesting NFTs. And then there's some other tools that will allow your really good idea to be mass produced so that you can sell slight variations that creates a collection that can be very valuable. The most valuable NFTs right now are all in collections where there's literally thousands, in many cases 10,000 items in a collection, and you can do the math. If they were selling for $100 a piece and you had 10,000 of them, that turns into $10 million. I'm also going to do a course on what's going on in the Web3 world, who the major investments are, and what they are doing. If you're wondering why you should bother, Mark Cuban was not a tech guy in a lot of ways. Certainly doesn't talk about it too much in Shark Tank, and the Dallas Mavs, of course, are not a high-tech firm. But he got his start in Web 2 with a company called Broadcast.com. It made him rich. He is heavily invested in cryptocurrency and Web 3. I'm going to do a course on Dolly version 2. It's just open access. You get 50 free credits with each new account and 15 free credits every month thereafter. You can purchase credits, and there's some really good tutorials out there already that are YouTube kinds of tutorials. Feel free to watch them. I am going to develop a course that tries to keep us all sort of up to speed in what's going on. There's the details on my Veterans Helping Veterans. If you're wondering what it's all about, there's a really good video introduction at vhv-video.com. And if you know a veteran who might find this course valuable or the community valuable, please pass it along. Thanks so much, and that's a wrap.